Slavs today are the largest Indo-European ethno-linguistic group in Europe. They're native today in Central and Eastern Europe, the Balkans, and whole of North Asia. All today's Slavs speak a variation of the Slavic language, which comes from the Balto-Slavic language group. Today's Slavs divide themselves into three main categories, mostly according to historical, cultural, and language differences. There are Western Slavs, which are Poland, Czech Republic, Slovakia. South Slavs, or the Balkan Slavs, are Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Serbia, Montenegro, the former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia, and Bulgaria. And last, the Eastern Slavs are Belarus, Ukraine, and Russia. Early Slavic history is very much shrouded in mystery, as there are very few first-hand written records in existence, and the ones that do exist are very hard to interpret. Due to these nebulous written records, many nationalistic Slavic, Germanic, and Hungarian historians from the 18th to the 21st century interpret them in ways beneficial to their country, oftentimes contradicting each other's works. So I will try my best to decipher the most unbiased possible origins of the Slavs. The earliest arguable written records of the Slavs happened during the late 6th century BCE. Herodotus mentioned the Nuri tribe living north of the most northern Scythian farmers past the Ister River, mentioning that they came to those lands from an unknown area due to being driven out by large serpents, and that they were very ritualistic, turning into and acting like wolves during the ceremonies. There are several ways the source had been interpreted by historians. Some say that Nuri are clearly a different tribe from the Scythians, as if they weren't, Herodotus wouldn't point out that they lived north of the Scythians, and therefore they have to be an early Proto-Slavic or even Proto-Balto-Slavic tribe. Quick side note here, the Baltic and Slavic languages share a similar linguistic ancestor, and therefore we know there had to have been some kind of a Proto-Balto-Slavic tribe somewhere at some point. However, we have no idea where, how, and to some extent when these two tribes divided and became two separate language groups. So it might as well been that the 6th century BCE Nuri tribe could have been this Proto-Balto-Slavic tribe before their division, but I digress. Most historians and linguists argue that Nuri were a Celtic tribe, not Slavic. They use the points that many Celtic settlements were found during that time in the area described by Herodotus, and that there is no more written nor archaeological linguistic evidence of Slavic tribes living in the area before the 5th century CE. The problem with the archaeological argument, however, is that Proto-Slavic, Celtic, and Scythian tribes are archaeologically very similar and could be easily interchangeable on many occasions. Therefore, knowing for sure that the archaeological finds in the Nuri area are Celtic is very unlikely, leaving the debate still open. Another possible argument is that the people we call Scythians are a combination of multiple tribes that we have put into the same grouping just because they inhabited the same area, and in fact some of the tribes in the Scythian grouping might be Proto-Slavic tribes, with the Nuri being Proto-Baltic. This would make a geographical sense, but this is not supported by a DNA study conducted which concluded that Scythians were just a DNA connection between the Eastern European tribes and the Central and Southern Asian tribes. Also, Nuri weren't the only tribe in the area that has been characterized as a Slavic or Proto-Slavic tribe. There were the Zarubinets, which lived in the southern Poland around 200 BCE to 200 CE, the Cherniakov, which lived in northern Balto-Slavic lands, etc. Although all of these tribes can be found to have some similarities with the Slavic tribes, there are no definitive Slavic archaeological finds in the area, and therefore we cannot say for certain whether these were Proto-Slavic people or just tribes that the Slavs copied some ideas from when they came into the area. The most likely scenario is that Nuri and all the other tribes before around the 5th century CE were just one of many Celtic or later Germanic tribes which inhabited the area of today's Slavs at one point or another between the 6th century BCE and the 5th century CE. It is further supported by the fact that during the invasion of the Huns in the 4th century CE, there are no mentions of Slavic tribes coming into contact with Huns, which if the Slavs would have been in the area already mentioned as Slavic lands would be inevitable. This means that the Slavs most likely came into the area after the Hunnic political decline, not before. It is also believed that some Hunnic and other non-Slavic tribes in Central and Eastern Europe were assimilated into the Slavic tribes over the upcoming years. The earliest undeniable mention of the Slavs in written records was by Procopius, a historian under Emperor Justinian in the 6th century CE. He mentions three main tribes living in all the lands north of the Ister River, the Venedi, Sclaveni, and Antes. He says that they worship only one god, the god of lightning, but they are not particularly very religious. He also says that they choose their leader democratically and are tall with brown hair but lack any kind of hygiene. He also mentions that the tribes live in Hunnic character, which may support the Hunnic assimilation story, but most likely just means that they never live in one place for a long time and probably travel around their lands. Last mentions is that they come to battle mostly naked, and that even though they are differing tribes, they all speak the similar tongue and can understand each other. This first undeniable mention of Slavs gives us only one paragraph about their culture and style of living, but is still way too little to determine any close facts about the political state that the Slavs might have set up in Europe. From the 6th century CE appearance of Slavs on the historical stage, for the next 3 centuries they will expand to the lands they largely occupy to this day, and will also be divided from the homogeneous group they used to be into the Slavic divisions of Western, Southern, and Eastern Slavs we know today. Hopefully this was a helpful video in understanding the origins of Slavs and helped you realize the still many unanswered questions we have about their settlement in Europe. This video is the first in my 4-part series where I will explore the origins of early Western, Southern, and Eastern Slavic kingdoms. Hope to see you till then. Goodbye.